Hi everyone, I'm Mickey, also known as Cell Phone Wallet Keys on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, and the movie voice guy for The Real Study. Now, Mr. Snidbits and the gang asked me to put together a little video to show here on the Twitch channel about voiceover. Now, I kind of racked my brain about it, to be honest with you, about what direction to go in. What category do I talk about? Do I talk about the actors, the art, any of the specifics? It was just over and over again trying to decide what path to go. And then it hit me. I'm the Real Study movie voice guy. I am just doing an imitation of one of the greats to ever do it. Why not talk about him? That's right, the man himself, Mr. Don LaFontaine. LaFontaine was born on August 26, 1940 in Duluth, Minnesota. He says his voice cracked at the age of 13 in the middle of a sentence, and these bass tones just boomed from him, and they came to bring him much fame and success. After graduating high school, he joined the United States Army and worked as a recording engineer for the Army Band and Chorus. Now, Mr. LaFontaine continued his work as a recording engineer after discharge and began working at the National Recording Studios in New York City. In 1962, he had the opportunity to work with producer Floyd Peterson on radio spots for Dr. Strangelove. Now, they incorporated many of LaFontaine's ideas for the spots, and in 1963, they went into business together, producing advertising exclusively for the movie industry. Now, Don claimed that his company came up with many of the famous catchphrases that we see in movie trailers, including his own signature phrase, "In a world." Now, his actual work as a voiceover artist started in 1964 when he was working on the western Gunfighters of Casa Grande. He had to fill in for an unavailable voice actor, and his career took off. He became the head of Kaleidoscope Films, a movie trailer company, before starting his own company, Don LaFontaine Associates, in 1976. Not long after that, he was hired by Paramount to do their movie trailers, and eventually he was promoted to vice president. Now, after he left Paramount, he decided to get back into trailer work and moved to Los Angeles in 1981. Don was contacted by an agent who wanted to promote him and then went on to work in voiceover. Don was contacted by an agent who wanted to promote him for the voiceover work, and from then on, he exclusively worked in voiceovers. At his peak, he had voiced about 60 promotions a week, and sometimes as many as 35 in one day. After establishing himself, most studios were willing to pay him anything for his service. Now, Mr. LaFontaine found himself with several jobs a day at different studios all over town and all over the country. And luckily, with the invention of Integrated Services Digital Network, or ISDN, Don eventually was able to build a recording studio in his Hollywood Hills home, and that way he could work from home and be anywhere in the country anytime. As we know, LaFontaine lent his voice to thousands of movie trailers during his career, spanning every genre from every major film studio. He even voiced the Viacom closing logo in 1990, simply saying the company's name after it had been formed on the screen. And it was during this time that LaFontaine basically had a monopoly on the movie trailer voice. Some of his most popular and notable trailers that he would most likely feature on his website were Terminator 2 Judgment Day, Shrek, Friday the 13th, Law & Order, and Batman Returns. In 2007, he stated that his favorite work in a movie trailer was for the biographical film The Elephant Man. LaFontaine also did a few announcing bumpers for WWE pay-per-view events such as Don't Try This at Home, and he was even doing the opening narration for television shows like Team Knight Rider, Renegade, and Rambo: The Force of Freedom. LaFontaine also did other voice work, including announcing for newscasts like WCBS TV New York in 2000-2001. He also narrated the making of Star Wars documentary from 1977 and television shows World's Most Amazing Videos, Boot Camp, America's Most Wanted, and Fillmore. He was even a recurring guest narrator on Clues for the game show Jeopardy! Most popularly, in 2006, Geico began an advertising campaign in which customers told their own stories of their experiences, accompanied by a celebrity who helped them make the story interesting, and LaFontaine happened to feature as one of those celebrities in those ads. In the commercials, he was usually introduced by the voiceover artist as that announcer guy from the movies, with his name printed on screen to identify him. And he would always begin telling their stories with, "In a world." It was at that moment that LaFontaine had pretty much changed his life by exposing his face and name to a much larger audience, therefore losing a lot of his anonymity. In 2007, LaFontaine explained the strategy behind his signature catchphrase, "In a world where," and it seemed to be very simple. He just wanted to rapidly establish the world that they were transporting them to, and he thought, "In a world where" was the best way to do that. We lost Mr. Fontaine on a Friday, August 22nd, 2008. And his final voiceover role was for a television show, a cartoon called Phineas and Ferb, with the episode The Chronicles of Meep. And he said his final line, "In a world," there, I said it, happy. The episode also ended with a very short tribute to him. And his final movie trailer voiceover was for Call and Response, a documentary about the global slave trade for which he donated his talent. Don LaFontaine leaves behind a legacy that will last for generations to come. Voiceover artists like myself will always think fondly of him. Moviegoers, anyone who ever watched a movie trailer with his voice, will always have a impression of him, will always try to imitate that attention-grabbing power that his voice had that just brought you to the screen and was hypnotizing. And even though movie trailers don't use voiceovers anymore, I still think that his presence is felt in the storytelling of those trailers. So I want to end this video by saying thank you for watching. I'm going to do a voiceover specific video every Friday here on the Real Study Twitch channel. We hope you'll tune in on Sundays for the show where the gang will break down your favorite movies and have some very interesting and exciting points to make from their own perspectives. This has been a pleasure, and I couldn't think of a better subject to focus on for our very first video other than the legendary Don LaFontaine, who is at the forefront of making movies exciting and magical for all of us. There's more content to come. We're going to try to have something here for you every day of the week. Be sure to check me out on TikTok at The Voice of CWK and Instagram cellphone_wallet_keys, as well as Twitter cellphone_wallet_keys. And again, thanks for stopping by and watching. I appreciate it. Have a great night and be sure to join us for a real conversation.